Recording in progress, and let's get going. Okay. And I have my friend here. All right, so we have some, not that breathing is not fun, breathing's fun too, but we have to start with bringing our attention to right here and now. Can you come up? Come on. Good. Good girl. Okay, so let's start with some lower abdominal breathing. One hand on the lower, on the abdomen, the other hand on top. And we'll start with our really simple abdominal breathing, and then we'll go into fanning the fire, which is breath work that helps generate some internal heat. So let's start first by grounding down, feeling especially the point where the ball of the foot meets the arch. It's a point on the kidney channel in acupuncture theory. And it is a really fantastic point to focus on when we want to ground down. So just feeling the space right at that junction from the ball of the foot to the arch. And as we inhale nice and slowly through the nostrils, on the exhale, think about descending that breath all the way down through that point in the sole of the feet, right through the earth. Starting to generate some clarity, some space through the mind, relaxing the body, softening the heart center. And then fanning the fire. So we haven't done this in a bit. That is the type of breath. It's more yang, and the focus is on the exhale. So we breathe in through the nose and then exhale with a sharp, forceful exhale. So, and as you will see, and we inhale, the exhale, when it's sharp, the abdomen pulls in back towards the spine. So we inhale. You can either, if you're congested like I am, inhale through the nose, and you can actually exhale through the mouth with this one. So if you inhale and then exhale sharply through the mouth, you'll feel the back of the abdomen pull towards the back of the spine. So almost like you're trying to blow out candles on a cake. And then let your breath be normal for a moment. So what that's doing, stoking or fanning the internal fire, is stoking our the generation of heat internally. So it is more activating. It's more of a cleansing breath, but it's starting to stoke the center, our inner fire here. And it's a really great way to generate heat. We want to counter that with, because it can't, it's a lot of energy, might feel a little like maybe a little even lightheaded. So that's a great way to balance that by coming back to our deep abdominal slow breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then let your arms drop down and let's go right into knocking on the door of life. So that fanning the fire breath, we will come back to in a little bit when we go into something called the water buffalo, which we tend to do in the winter. It's a position, and incorporating fanning the fire is really good for the kidneys and to strengthen the legs and get things really circulating. And then up below the collarbone. And top of the shoulders. And then come back down. And then back down to the waist. And then let's start to slow down. And I think we'll go right into, because there are a few cleansing and clearing I need. Maybe you need also some cleansing and clearing movements, some extra ones today. So let's start with Tiger Clears the Way. So let's bring the hands above the head. And then the hands are going to come down on the exhale as we bend the knees. And then exhale, the knees straighten as the arms come out to the sides, and then bending back down, and then inhale. So it's a bend and straighten, bend and straighten. And it's a great movement to breathe in through the nose and then a sharp exhale. Think about any of the stuff that's been kind of brewing and needs a release, whether the physical body, our emotional center, or just getting some clarity in our brain if we've been feeling a little bit muddled. Think about inhaling and releasing it. And one more, and then slowly come back to the center for a moment. Let your breath normalize, the heart rate slow down. And then let's do an extra clearing exercise. This is called clearing. This is where our arms are out to the sides. And then let's start just by exhaling and letting your arms drop down. And then inhale, and then exhale. And this time we'll inhale, and on the exhale, turn towards your right. So the left arm in front, right arm in back. And then inhale to the center, and then turning in the opposite direction, and then inhale up. And then letting a little more of a swing, a pendulum flow, where we're just releasing between the shoulder blades, right? The back of the heart center, freeing up some of that space that might be a little bit more tight and contracted. We're just slowly allowing our bodies to soften Gently open up. And let's slow down. Okay, maybe you'll feel a little bit lighter already. Let's do a little bit of igniting the inner fire. So again, things are it's getting a little colder. It's snowing. We are descending into the winter time. Things start slowing down internally. So helping to stoke that inner fire will help improve circulation. Even if it's cold outside, we can generate heat internally. So let's start with the palms together. And before we go into shifting the weight, as a reminder, igniting the inner fire, we start with the palms of the hands, right? Correlate to the heart. So we start by generating some heat, by creating some friction in the palms of your hands by pressing them together. And you see how my elbow oscillate. So just generating some heat. And then as we include the legs, whatever elbow comes up, that's the side you want to shift the weight to. And then you turn and look in the opposite direction. And then you come to the center, sink down a little bit, and then over to the opposite side. So your left elbow, you're over to the left side, your left elbow comes up, and then you turn and look right back to the center. So as we come to the center, there's a little dip down, and then as we arrive at each side, we turn our head and look in the opposite direction while twisting the palms. So we're getting a really good activation of the meridians in the legs. Those big muscles are helping to generate some heat. And we're activating the heart channel. And then let's come to the center. You can take the bend out of the knees and then heart to the sky. So inhale, look up. And then exhale. So slowing everything back down. And let's come back to igniting the inner fire one more time. It's good. The heart might be a little bit elevated, the heart rate. It's a good thing, right? Just we want to make sure that we're paying attention to our bodies and go as slowly as you need to. You want to pick up the pace, that's fine. Whatever feels good for you. You can make the stance a little bit more narrow, right? So we start by pressing the palms together and then shifting the weight, looking in the opposite direction. So looking in the opposite direction, also you'll feel a little stretch from the neck down through the shoulder blades. So think about we're improving circulation, we're mobilizing our energy, we're getting the heat all the way to the extremities, and a gentle stretch. And then let's come to the center again, slowing the heart rate down. The inhale, looking up towards the sky. And then exhale, a slight contraction in. And then inhale, opening. And exhale. And one more time, inhale and exhale. So let's pause here just for a moment. Let the heart rate come back down. Capture this moment, feeling the energy pulsing and coursing through you. And I think from here, I was going to go into spreading the feathers first, but pulling the bow. So pulling the bow is where we focus our attention on the thumb, the space between the thumb and the index finger, which is the metal element, the lung channel, and the large intestine channel. So we'll start with, let's take your left hand on top, and we're just gonna make a big circle. And as your left hand comes over to the side, you're gonna extend the thumb and index finger and curl the other three, like you're making you're aiming for a target. And then your opposite hand, you're gonna just curl your fingers in like you're pulling back on a bow. And then looking through the space between the index finger and the thumb. Now, as we inhale, take that left hand on top and make a big circle. And then as we pull back, now your right hand, excuse me, is going to make that target, right? And you're looking over to the right as your left hand pulls back on that bow. So we're aiming, pulling back, and then we inhale. Now that left hand on top, and then pulling back. So just like you're pulling back towards the heart center, where we're taking that energy of what brings us joy, what we want to put out there into the world, and then we're aiming and having some focus, right? What are our goals? What are we aiming for? And then coming back to this moment, gathering energy, and then we're able to use that intentionally, and whatever ideas or plans we want to make come into fruition. And then inhale. So I'm coming out of that bend on the inhale, and then exhale. And then inhale. So making a big circle, and then aiming. Gather, pulling the bow, and then aiming. And then inhale, pulling the bow and aiming. So we can go even slower. Nice. Inhale as we gather, and then exhale. And then inhale, swirling, gathering, and exhale. And this is contraction as we're congealing, bringing things in, and then this expansion. Inhale and exhale. Let's do one more. Nice slow inhale, pulling back, looking forward towards the future. And then let your arms drop down. And then let's bring our feet back to a narrower stance. Okay, so a lot of heat being generated. We did a lot of work building heat in our legs. So I think instead of spreading the feathers, I'd like to do one more activation and heat generating. It's really a posture, water buffalo. So there's three, I don't want to call it three levels, but three stances. And they range from, I will say, not the easiest, but maybe the gentlest, and then it gets a little bit more difficult. So the water buffalo is similar to the turtle, which we've done before, but with the water buffalo, we're still bending. So we're in like a pseudo squat, but the chin is up. So we're actually looking up. So this is the first stance where your hands are on your thighs above your knee. The second is that your hands are pressing in the center or the inner part of your knees. And then the third is that the arms just dangle down. So you're using all of your strength is in your legs. You're not using your arms at all. And then that's the posture. And this is where we include fanning the fire. So I'm going to start here and then starting incorporating the fanning the fire, which is really good for the kidneys and the lower back. So that's where we inhale and the focus is on that sharp exhale. So inhale through the nose and you can either be here, or the arms dangling, head up, and then focusing the breath, the lower back with a sharp exhale. And then keep your hands on your thighs as you slowly roll up. You might feel a flood of energy through your body. That's sort of the goal. Feel that circulating energy through the entire body. And then we use a yin style breath to balance that. So we're going to go just pull down the heavens for a few rounds. So inhale and then exhale. And then inhale. And one more time. Inhale. Okay. So that's really great. It can be challenging, but it's really great to get our energy circulating. You feel it, right? As we stand up, it's like this really kind of up and outward energetic momentum. And that's why we counter that with a yin. So we want to just keep everything balanced, not too yang, not too yin. It's sort of finding that balance. So let's just gently shake everything out before we go into our flows. Take out the wrists, the elbows, let the head be nice and bobbly, right? As we relax the shoulders and the neck. And then let's start to slow down. Find your footing. Find that point right where the ball of the foot and the arch of the foot intersect, and find your center. And let's just start our flows with a gentle open the flow. So inhale, the arms float up on the inhale, and then exhale, they float down. And then inhale. And exhale. Starting to really allow your body to relax. This might be the first time you're getting this relaxation in a couple of weeks, maybe months, maybe years. Really allowing the inhale to expand, and then the exhale, allowing a really deep sense of letting go and relaxing. And feeling the space around us, right, as we're an integrated part of our surroundings, right? The environment around us, this field that we're moving through. Regaining our sense of connection. As we did igniting the inner fire, working on generating heat, especially through the palms, the heart center. Just maybe imagine that on the inhale, your heart center is glowing a little bit brighter. Your internal light is glowing a little bit brighter. And a deep sense of peace that's emanating from a deep state of relaxation throughout the body. This well that's always there for us to tap into. And the next exhalation, let's let the hands come down to our chi ball for a moment, feeling the space between the palms, generating this golden light. And let's come into lower, embrace the tree for one moment. This is the posture where we make a circle with the arms, the fingers are pointing in towards one another. Feeling this circular, gentle movement of that golden light swirling from the heart center, disseminating out through the body as your entire body lights up. And the next flow is called Fireflies in the Lantern. So we'll start by taking your left hand, like you're picking something up, like a string or a strand. So your fingers and your thumb come together. This is the top of the lantern, right? And our fingers are closed. So this represents containment in yin. And then the hand below is open. This is the yang, right? And that as we close our eyes, imagining that light from your heart is shining out through this lantern. And from this lantern, you become a beacon of light for others as that light fills the lantern and is shown shining outward. This glowing light, the lighthouse that your heart center energy can be for others. And then if you open your eyes, we're just going to gently shift the weight over to the left as we turn. And then we'll make a little wheel, a little circle. So the opposite hand comes up. We make the top of the lantern now with the right hand, and the bottom hand is open, the bottom of the lantern. And then we shift the weight as we turn. And then make a circle, turning that light. And now the left hand on top, right hand on the bottom. And then we turn. So it's similar weight shift and movement as cloudy hands, but instead of hands being clouds, we are making this container, this light, firefly energy. So as we descend into winter, like the number of hours that we have sunlight goes down, it gets darker earlier, right? We're generating this internal light that will continue to shine forth through that darkness. That firefly summer joyful energy, right? We're cultivating that internally, letting our hearts shine forward through this lantern that shines outward as this pillar of light, just like a lighthouse, creating guidance and refuge for others. Nice and slow. So as we turn the wheel, inhale, and then exhale as we turn. Right? We have both the yin and the yang. We have the containment and then this space, this openness for our light to shine even brighter. Let's come to the center and come back to the standing posture for a moment. Feeling that light circulating and growing brighter. And continuing with this element of containment, yin and yang. This is called single whip. So we'll start with our right hand out to the side, making that little beak, just like the top of the lantern. And then the left hand, the palm is facing up underneath. And then you're going to take that left hand and you're just going to reach forward until you're right in front of your body. And then turn so that you have your pinky is facing forward. And then you're going to press forward. And then exhale, the arms float down. Now this time the left hand comes up into our yin beak, the right hand underneath, palm facing up. And then you're going to stretch that right arm forward and then turn so that your arm is perpendicular and then pressing forward with your pinky. And then exhale. Right? So we're generating this yin energy underneath and then extending out through the palm. And then the pinky side of the hand is the heart and small intestine, the palm, but through the pinky finger, extending that out. And then down. So we generate this container above and this element of generating this yang light underneath and then spreading it forth as we exhale. So the breathing here, actually, we inhale as the arms come down, and then we exhale as we make this yin and yang as we exhale forward, and then inhale, and then exhale, right in front, and then inhale, and then turning, and then exhale, and then inhale. And exhale. This is actually part of um, a martial arts practice. It's part of, I believe it's part of one of the Tai Chi sequences, right? So there's a sort of protective dance in nature, but then there's this element of relaxing and receiving. And extending out. And inhale. And exhale. By being strong in our center, in our structure, but then cultivating this inner light and fire outward, that heart energy, that fire, this connection to others with protection. And one more. Exhaling. And now inhale, let's come to our chi ball. One last time. I'm feeling that all of that heat and energy that's extending from our heart down the meridians of the inner arms into the palms and then out your fingers like little beams of light. You can take the element of that lantern and then generating, right, this internal lighthouse light that can be a beacon for ourselves, but for others. And then let the arms drop down. Let's inhale the arms down, around, and up. And then exhale, float back down. And then inhale. And exhale. One last time, inhale. And then let's bring the feet together. As we exhale, one hand on top of the other. Let's make a couple of circles in the lower abdomen, storing, right? This is the storing time of year so that we have what we need. We have our resources. We're generating that light that will help guide us through the darkness. And let's take a moment, a few last rounds of breath. And when you're ready, you can crack your eyes open. Excuse me. Thank you, everyone. It was so nice to see you again today. And I hope you have a good weekend. And I'll send you the recording of this if you'd like to keep it for future use. And I will see you next Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.